of great virtue, have compassion for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach us how to leave suffering, attain bliss and birth and death, and quickly realize our worth. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma, the 100,000 yearly eons of difficult encounter. Now that I have come to receive and maintain it within my sight and hearing, I vow to fathom thus once true without meaning. Today is the second day of September 2012. We are in Rosemead to discuss the Vajra Sutra. We are on slide 283, the middle part of the slide 283. All right. We are talking about the Arhats. This Arhat here is Vajra Sutra. He is number one in understanding about emptiness. I do go there. Oh, by the way, people complain that yes, I know. People complain that I only speak English. I don't speak Vietnamese anymore. And I said, who does speak Vietnamese too? No one comes. So I thought I could save time and explain more Dharma. But then people listen to the MP3 files and listen to watch the video files and say, how come I don't understand anything? So now I have to make sure I speak in Vietnamese as per their request. So please bear with it. And besides, Kim Ding is here. So she's the one who transcribed the Vietnamese lecture. Actually, she's doing us a big favor. Do you know that after I speak Dharma, I forget everything. I really have a hard time. And I speak and then I forget. That's how I replenish my system quicker. I don't keep anything. So besides, I don't prepare my lectures either. I speak because of the moment. So what Kim Ding has been doing is that this is the first time in our sutra explanation. I explained 5 sutras now. I printed 5 sutras now. And all the 5 sutras that we committed to printing, to publishing, they basically are different from my original lectures because I don't remember what I lectured at all. You know, for example, you know, we have a slide like this today, like slide 283. This is what I was prepared like 2 years ago. Okay? And then I looked at it this week to see what I'm going to say. Okay? And so I thought I'm going to say, and then a person like Peter or Ginny comes and says, oh, I have this question. And it's outside all my preparations. So I respond to that. And that's why there's no way to remember everything I prepared for. So what Kim Ding is doing is very important because it helps me remember the major point that's made in these slides beyond what's prepared here. So we really appreciate it. So what happened is that, for example, in this Vajra Sutra, a lot of what I explained in this Vajra Sutra, I would say around 40%, 50% is beyond what's prepared. So that's the case. In all prior sutras, I lost about 30% of what I explained, the Dharma I explained without transcription. I don't have time. I don't have time to go through all those audio files again. So that's why we lost a lot. So what Kim Ding is doing is helping me save a lot of time in preparing the explanation of Vajra Sutra, the way it has been explained before. So anyway, we are at the middle part of the slide here, where Subhuti is the foremost person in the Buddha's disciple to understand emptiness. Okay? Meaning that since the moment he's born, he's destined to understand emptiness already. Because at the first day that he was born, the very day he was born, into a very rich family, okay, all the treasure stores in the family household disappeared. All the grains, all the gold, all the silver, all the jewels that back then they wouldn't put in the bank, but they would put in their own storehouse. They all emptied out. Okay? On the day he's born. So everyone said, gee, that's such excellent professional thieves. How can they move everything, 7 storehouses, and we don't even know about it? Okay? And they reported to the police and everything, of course, but the police, as you know, we just basically called the police, and obviously not here. So much for protection. They couldn't figure it out, and after Venerable Subhuti's birth, 7 days later, 1 week later, all the storehouses were restored as before. So this is a moment that this boy, this newborn boy, is associated with emptiness. He's connected to emptiness because he emptied all the treasures that is valuable to all of us, all of you. Okay? And this guy here, he says, with my birth, I will, I'm born to this kind of circumstances, and yet I will free myself of these circumstances and I'll attach to all of these. But he later became a monk, and then he understood about emptiness. So, and he's the receiving end of the sutra, where the Buddha explained the principles is to Venerable Subhuti. And because he's best at being able to understand the principles in the Vajra Sutra, in the Prajna teachings, because the basis of that is emptiness. Okay? So he is he is able to develop the most profound understanding of the Buddha's teachings on the sutra. That's why he's chosen to be on the receiving end. Okay? Now, so the Buddha here in this section is explaining about the state of 4-stage Arhat, which is an extraordinary state. The 4-stage Arhat, we've been discussing this state for the last 3 weeks, 3-4 weeks. In the stage of the 4-stage Arhat, that's when you first begin to truly understand emptiness. Before that, you don't know what emptiness is yet. Okay. Thế dạ sơ sơ nói về cái ngài Tu Bồ Đề, một cái gì hiểu định nhất về cái không là là một cái trình độ hiểu biết mà chỉ người tứ quả La Hán là cái trình độ đầu tiên mà có thể hiểu được về cái không. Ngài Tu Bồ Đề là một cái đệ tử của Phật đã thông đạt được cái thông này, bởi vậy ngài được chọn là cái người đương chúng, tức là người đã được Phật dạy về những cái giáo lý đại thừa, về cái bát nhã, mà chỉ có người hiểu về cái không có thể thông đạt cái giáo lý của cái bát nhã này. Questions?
Yes, so only the Arhat has concept about what the emptiness is, and all other people not reaching the level of Arhat do not understand what the emptiness is.
Yes.
So only the Arhat has
the fourth stage
only the Arhat is eligible to understand what the
and
emptiness
higher.
And higher.
Higher. The fourth stage Arhat is the lowest level of attainment. That enables you to begin to see emptiness.
So all other people.
All other levels before that, meaning first stage, second stage, first stage Arhat, and so on, cannot understand.
Cannot understand what emptiness is.
So, is the sound on?
Now it is.
Now it is. Okay. Well, luckily we only have 5 people today. So that is because speaking of understanding, hôm nay hỏi là cái người tứ quả La Hán hiểu được cái không, thì nói đúng, tứ quả là trình độ thấp nhất mới bắt đầu hiểu được cái không. Okay. By the way, okay. Emptiness as a concept, okay. Meaning that you understand the concept, the definition of emptiness. Anyone can read a book and recite and repeat what a concept of emptiness is. Okay. Cái không là một cái quan niệm, một khái niệm mà ai sẽ đọc sách cũng hiểu biết khái niệm là cái gì. It's called intellectual understanding. It's called literary understanding, literary wisdom. It's called wisdom by the way. It is wisdom, Buddhist wisdom. Okay. When you read a book, you read these principles, you wear this principle, that is called literary wisdom. Anyone can get that. And by the way, it's not easy to get literary wisdom. It isn't at all. Why? Why is that? Cái đầu kia tôi tiên ấy đó, thì cái không là cái trình độ gọi là cái văn huệ, người làm đọc về cái giáo lý của cái không, về cái giáo lý của cái Phật giáo. Yes, that's why.
So you have to have blessings to come in contact with it. So there have to be prior causes for you to even know it exists.
Precisely. It is so difficult because the reality of it is that I ask you, you read so many books out there and a lot of essays on the internet. How do you know which one is proper? How do you know? Do you? Are you sure? You don't know, right? So it causes problems in us, right? We read, is this author right? Is this contradiction here between this book and the next book? This cites some Korean sources, some other cites some Indian sources, some other cites some Chinese sources, and so on. How do you know which one is correct? They all claim to be right. They all claim to be sages. How do you know that? Okay?
You can just tell.
You can just tell. That's correct. You know that? He's right. It may sound ridiculous, but he's so right. Cái vấn đề là mình đọc nhiều sách quá, có nhiều cái tài liệu quá, mình biết nguồn gốc từ đâu hết, mà ai cũng nói là đúng, thì cái văn học nó khó, cái văn huệ nó khó cho lắm, tại mình không biết cái nào đúng. We simply don't know which one is correct. I'm telling you that because it's my personal experience. Let me tell you. I was so frustrated for several years of reading books after books and after books. And every time I read a book, let's say on the Vajra Sutra, I see contradiction here and there all the time. You know what? It plays a game with your mind. You sit there and you meditate and you say, wait a minute, this sounds right this side, and then another section is incorrect, another section. And so you see so much conflict. And for several years, let me tell you, I struggled with the fact that I don't know which one is correct.
Same thing happened to me.
So what?
Same thing happened to me.
Yeah, it is so frustrating. It is frustrating because you know, after a while, you know how I did it? I began by garbage dumping. Because just like many of you, most of us, intellectuals, we read books, don't we? We do research, don't we? We're supposed to do research. We go to school, we train to do research, right? And research requires reading. Read everything and synthesize, right? And that is worldly knowledge. That's what you need to do. For transcendental knowledge, you can't do. Okay? Because of the very problem I just described to you, conflicting information. It's not, about synthesizing at all with world transcending knowledge or wisdom. It's about getting the proper knowledge.
So how do we get the proper knowledge then?
So, well, it depends on who you are. Just if, like myself, beforehand, I'm sorry, I'm not sure I can remember to translate into Vietnamese, but luckily I started telling Kim Dien that maybe she should translate directly from English to Vietnamese right away, before I forget. So what happened is that when you're confused, you have no choice. Okay? You cannot tell one from the other. So what do? What I did is I relied on something that was designed by the Buddha. He designed a lineage of patriarchs who certified each other. For example, my teacher is a patriarch of that lineage. And before that, he was certified by his own teacher, Venerable Xu Yu. You heard of Venerable Xu Yu? Very famous monk to the West. Okay? And so each patriarch is certified by the other, the prior patriarch. They certify that this person understands Buddhism and knows how to teach Buddhism. So instead of reading a lot of garbage, which I did, I read so many books. And in the end, you know what I did? I dumped everything. I sat there, I said, this monk, no good. So whenever I meditate, all his teaching come back. See, the problem with knowledge is that you store it into your hard drive, your memory. Then every now and then you remember bits and pieces of it. Am I correct? Is it what happens to you too? Right? You read something and every now and then you remember. Right? You have flashes of recalls, right? And that's the problem. You're recalling incorrect information. Okay? So it's a waste of time. So what I ended up doing is dumping a lot of garbage. I just threw out everything I learned. I said, no. If it comes up, I said, if it comes from that person, I said, no, out. So that's how you lighten your load. You carry less baggage. Okay? You need to do that first, by the way. Before you reach emptiness and beyond, then you begin to understand the principles. Then afterwards, okay? Then you can read junk and you can see goodness in it. Is it making sense? Trust me, that's a process I had to go through to decipher what is proper, what is improper. Okay? So nowadays, for example, I still spend 2 hours reading a translation from a person who, in English, about a certain child master, a certain teacher, a Japanese teacher. He says, I've been following this teacher for 22 years, 20 years. So I'm transcribing his lecture. So I said, this is one of the patriarchs in my lineage. Okay? So I respectfully sat there and read the documentation on the internet for 2 hours. Okay? From beginning to end. Because it happened to be translation of the teachings from the patriarch, Chinese patriarch. Okay? I read it, I spent 2 hours reading it. At the end, I said, all of this is junk. He doesn't understand what he's talking about. That's the problem we have with the books you find out there. They spend a lot of time, a lot of research writing it, but they don't penetrate the meaning of what those teachers are saying. Okay? So that's the problem inherent in translation. So, you really have no choice. If you don't know, don't try to read too many books. It's not worth it. Your time is too invaluable to waste it on junk, which I did for many, many years. Okay. If I were you want to learn about the group principles, stick to the patriarchs. Even like people like me, you should listen and you say, okay, but he's not a patriarch. I'm serious. Okay. You have to compare everything you read against what the patriarchs are saying. When you say, am I making sense?
Yeah.
You must have the fundamental knowledge that is proper, and you act it. It's easy to decipher. My luck is that I started out immediately with Master Hsuan Hua's teachings. So naturally, I went through the process of comparing. Okay? A lot of new information I read. And then I threw out a lot of things. Whatever I didn't understand, or whatever was not taught by Master Hsuan Hua, stuck in my memory bank, keep on popping up. And then, in the end, I have to throw them all out. Because they're true or incorrect. Okay? Let me tell you, you may be reading books for the next 30, 40 years, like the researchers do, academia does. But unless you have enough samadhi power, you cannot penetrate. Okay? So that's why a lot of people in the worldly sense are very knowledgeable, they're very smart, they know a lot of things, they can out-debate me in terms of principles, a lot more principles than we do, but they don't have the depth. They have the breadth, they don't have the depth. Buddhism is about depth. It's not about breadth at all. Breadth is not Buddhism. Okay? You need to get through the heart of what the problem is. What the true principles driving all of this is. Okay? Is it clear? Yes. So, going back to your question, you stick to the patriarch's teachings, and whatever new teachings you hear of, it should be consistent with the patriarch's spirit of teaching the patriarchs. Is it clear? It helps. So what you do is if I were you, I stick to the main line of patriarchs in the history of Buddhism, Orthodox Buddhism. For example, Master Hsuan Hua is the latest one we know of. Okay. Read his stuff, and read the stuff from his the prior patriarchs, if you can. That's one thing. And then Buddhism also has a lot more schools. So each school has their own patriarchs as well. Okay? Stick to those, and you say. Yes.
Master, so what's the name of the school that Master Hsuan Hua belongs to?
He has the Chinese school he belongs to is the Weiyang School.
Weiyang School?
Weiyang School. But the Master Hsuan Hua is the patriarch of the major lineage of Buddhism, the main lineage of Orthodox Buddhism. Okay, or proper Dharma Buddhism. That is, the first patriarch is Mahakashyapa, who was designated as patriarch by Shakyamuni Buddha himself. Okay, Mahakashyapa. because the Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, named Mahakashyapa, the first monk, to be the first patriarch. Okay? And then Mahakashyapa, by the time he's done, let me tell you how he passed on and then he passed on the patriarchship to the second patriarch, who is Ananda. You recognize the name? Ananda is in charge of collecting all the sutras, because he has photographic memory. Whatever the Buddha said once, he will never forget it. So he used to follow the Buddha anywhere and listen to all his sermons. He can recite it by heart. Every single word, without missing a word. So that's why later Venerable Ananda was designated as second patriarch. Okay? And so on and so on. Until yesterday we talked about Bodhidharma, which is, I believe, the 28th patriarch from India. And last Indian patriarch. And first Chinese patriarch as he went to China. Okay. Then Master Shenhua, and then Venerable Bodhidharma designated the next patriarch. So that's a direct lineage of patriarchship from Shakyamuni Buddha. All of them are enlightened people, by the way. Okay. Most of them are very, very advanced. Like Master Shenhua is very, very advanced. So Master Shenhua is the 44th patriarch. Stick to them. You cannot go wrong. If I were you, if I say something that is not consistent with anything they say, then I'm wrong. I assure you that. Okay? So that's what you do. The major patriarchship, you go along that lineage that you say. And then for each school, like for example, Master Shenhua is also a patriarch in a Chan school called Weiyang School. The Chinese also have 5 Chan schools. Okay? And the Weiyang is the school that Master Shenhua belongs to. Okay. He's a patriarch. So in terms of Chan, the patriarchs there and so on. Okay. For example, a lot of famous monks, they may be famous to you, but they're not patriarchs to us. So it really limits your exposure to only the proper information, the proper theory. Okay, going back, I don't know, I can explain this in Vietnamese. Did you get all that? Yeah, okay, thank you. It's kind of nice because when I translate, I don't do a good job translating, and it breaks my chain of thought. So let me only try to translate, stress the things that I feel more important. Okay, so please bear with me. I appreciate it. Where was that? Oh, we're talking about the proper information and literary knowledge. And I started by saying literary wisdom is so difficult because you cannot decipher what is proper versus what is improper. That's what we talked about, the patriarchs, and sticking to the patriarch's teachings if you don't know. And again, I need to emphasize to you, don't go for volume, for quantity, go for quality. Transcendental stuff is about quality, not quantity at all. You know, just the proper information is more important than the volume of information. Okay? Now, so we had a problem with the literary wisdom because we, as Texas said, it is very difficult to have the chance to be exposed to the proper wisdom. Okay? Because let me tell you, of all the books printed out there, of all the website information you can find out there, most of them are incorrect. And you cannot tell. You cannot tell. Yeah. And you know, let me tell you, Peter, I used to be so impressed by monks who publish like volumes upon volumes of sutras. I said, wow, this must be Bodhisattva. He explains about
the flower worms, he explains about the most advanced texts in Buddhism. Okay? And so everyone's so impressed by it. You know, what they did is they collected all the patriarchs' information and synthesized them. It's intellectual work. It's not true knowledge. So the problem with synthesis in Buddhism is this. Let me stress this for your sake again. When you synthesize information from the patriarch, and when you don't really have true understanding, your synthesis is wrong. You take one line of teaching from this patriarch and combine the next line of teaching the next patriarch on the same topic. Logically, on paper, it makes sense. Okay?
Maybe.
Academically speaking, semantically speaking, it may make sense. Because the same word, the same kind of context. But when I look at the way these guys, these paragraphs are put together, I see they are discordant. They're not talking about the same thing. For example, to help you out, for example, this patriarch may be talking about this principle A, let's say emptiness. But his speech is directed what? At 6 people that day. So far so good? Because the principles is, the way he explains it, is to help you understand. Okay? And the second patriarch, okay, explains the same principle of emptiness, but it's to a different audience. So what he's trying to explain is entirely different. Am I making sense to you?
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
That makes sense. Everybody has different intellectuals.
That's right. Different level of understanding. So you cannot synthesize them at all. They're not the same teaching at all. And that's the problem with intellectual compilation. It's wrong. Okay? So don't try it. You cannot synthesize until after you understand. Okay? So for example, as long as we're on this topic, for example, the first kind of authors you can throw out right away are what kind of authors? Lay people. Throw them out right away. Don't bother. Lay people have no business explaining Maya. You know why? Because if lay people, the kind of lay people who truly understand, will not explain Maya themselves.
That's true.
Yeah.
You say lay people, you indicate, you imply that the lay people who have the marital life and have some children and maintain the livelihood.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
Professors.
Yeah, so
Professors.
For example, the Japanese Buddhism. In Japanese Buddhism, all the priests, 99% of the priests are married.
Yes.
But they declare that they are priests, but they maintain the same lifestyle as we are. So
Yeah.
would you classify them as lay persons or priests?
I would call them priests.
You call them priests, but they maintain the same lifestyle as us. Same.
I call them
Why?
priests because of recognition of their status in their society. I'm being respectful.
Just be respected and recognition only, right?
There's no need to offend people.
Yeah.
It's safe to offend them when it's only in a small crowd of 6.
I see what you mean.
They cannot possibly penetrate me.
Right, that's what I think.
Yeah. For example, if you see emptiness, we talked the last few weeks about emptiness. Okay. These people 4-stage are in emptiness. Okay. They begin to understand, have some true wisdom. Guess what happens to them? They have no more what? Kim Deer. No more what?
Desire.
Desire.
No more
Yeah.
desire.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
see? So that why, even at the lowest level of true understanding, transcendental understanding, they don't want a family. There's no, they don't see the need for a family. You see? So it tells you right away that my point is that it doesn't matter how you call them, how you label them. It could be like me. You could look at a person like me as well, and you say, if you know that I have girlfriends, boyfriends, then you know that there's no sense in listening to my Dharma talks. Because I'm talking about something that requires that kind of attachment. Am I making sense to you? If I cannot understand this, how can I explain it to you? I cannot use other people's words to me to listen. Okay? So, lay people basically are non-sanghas. Okay? Even some sanghas, to me, are lay people. I'm not fooled by the appearances. The standard is that these people are the people that the Buddha decreed that they will transmit Buddha. So therefore, I'm not saying that they are better than the lay people, all of them better than lay people. They're not. Agreed? They're not. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that many lay people I know of are enlightened, are better than most sanghas that I've met. Okay? That's a fact. But these lay people I know of, they would not be teaching the Buddha Dharma. They would not. Why? Because that would be to go against the Buddha's decree. The Buddha is very clear. He says, my Buddha Dharma will be transmitted by monks. Yes.
It doesn't go so far as to say that they wouldn't discuss it with their family or their close friends.
No, they would.
They would, yeah.
They
That's
would.
what I'm trying to
But they're not going to stand up there and say, I will lecture to you about the Vajra Sutra.
No, they won't set themselves up as teachers.
Never.
Yeah.
I will write a book on meditation. Never. Why not? Because they would be going against the Buddha's decree as well as they're competing against their own teachers. They don't ever want to compete against their own teachers. Okay? Does it make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm saying is, even though these lay people have real understanding, great understanding, there are quite a lot of them, but they would never tell themselves, announce themselves as teachers of Mahayana. Never ever. So they never lecture, they would never write a book, okay? They would never claim they understand Mahayana. Unless what?
As their teacher told them to.
Unless the teacher tells them to. Unless the teacher, when they tell them, they mean is certified. That's Mahayana. That's the process, by the way, that patriarchs do for each other. Mahakashyapa say, I was certified by Shakyamuni Buddha. I certify that Ananda understands Mahayana. Okay? And therefore, I named him as nominated him as a patriarch. And Ananda nominated the third patriarch. And so on, and so on, and so on. So right now, at our age, Rinpoche Srinivas, the last known patriarch, he already designated the second American patriarch already. Okay? It's up to him to decide when he's going to announce it to the world. It's none of my business. Okay? But what happened is that these enlightened teachers, they recognize, for example, that let's say text is enlightened. Is it possible?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, so for example, this enlightened patriarch says, well, I have enlightened this student here, okay? And he understands certain things, okay? So what he does is that, hey, text, will you come with up here and explain the Dharma? Okay. And the text says, yes, I'll explain the Dharma. Because he does it under the umbrella of his teacher, his monk. That's his respect for his teachers and for the Buddha's instruction. Is it clear? So it frees yourself on, it frees you from the rid of a lot of offers that are not true teachers. Okay? And of course I have a disciple who said, I want to teach Buddhism, I want to learn the most of you and make a living out of it, or devote my life teaching Buddhism and help the people. And I said, you really want to do that? You have to be a monk, to be a true teacher of Buddhism. Meaning no girlfriend. Okay, we started. We got sidetracked again. Told you I can't be there with these lectures. So anyway, so we talked about literary wisdom, meaning that you are exposed to the proper principles. So far so good? That is called literary wisdom. Okay? Now, here's what happens. Along the line what Texas said. Once you're exposed to the proper principles, it registers in your psyche. Lifetime after lifetime. Believe me. So what happens is that in subsequent lifetimes, you listen to the principles again, what happens? It sounds right. It feels right. Ever got that experience? You know, like, this sounds right. It feels right. It's your gut feeling that tells you that, yeah. Okay? That's why it's important. And by the way, it's the same thing. If you listen to the wrong principles, it stays with you lifetime after lifetime. And guess what? They'll come. These deviant teachers, they'll come and look for you again as disciples. And the more you listen to it, the more you believe in them. And the more you give your fortune to them. 50%, 90%, 100%. Okay? Alright. So, the nice thing about the true principles is that when you read these, it happened to me a lot when I read Master Sheng. I have this constant series of aha, it feels right, it feels right, it feels right, it feels right. And the frequency of this made me feel comfortable. Made me believe that this is the true principles. Okay? Alright. So that's only at the level of literary wisdom. Okay? That is as far as it can go. That's it. You know about it. You heard it before. You heard it again. That's about it. Okay? It sounds right. Okay? Intellectually, gut feeling says it feels good, it feels proper. But some next level is contemplative wisdom. Okay? Cái văn huệ, cái là quán huệ. Okay? Kim Điền quán huệ là cái trình độ thứ nhì. Văn huệ là đọc sách đúng, nghe lời giảng đúng là văn huệ. Còn cái quán huệ là mình chỉ có được khi mà mình thấy được cái không What happened is the next level, much more critical level understanding, that aha moment, that transcendental aha moment, is called contemplative wisdom, meaning that your mind is empty. You understand emptiness. That's why it's called wisdom. Now, this wisdom here is very difficult to reach, because you have to understand emptiness. What is this understanding emptiness? It's not about being able to discourse on this endlessly, or write books about it endlessly. Okay? It can be summarized in the next few slides. That's it. You don't need to discourse. That's why I spend time lecturing you, name and list out all these principles, because you know what? When is your time to reach and develop that contemplative wisdom, you will penetrate all the information of the slides that you put. Sounds good? Shall we continue? Good advertisement. Any other questions? Cái quán huệ là quan trọng, tại vì cái văn huệ là khó văn huệ ở chỗ mình rất khó mà kiếm cái sách mà cho đúng, người thầy cho đúng. Ok. Thành ra nó có nhiều cái sự xung đột với nhau, một người thầy giảng khác. Thành ra phải nên chọn cái vị tổ sư, chọn cái vị tổ sư, những người họ chứng nhận nhau, họ biết về cái Phật pháp, họ biết cách dạy cái Phật pháp. Thì như vậy học những cái từ cái nguồn gốc đó thì nó phân biệt chính xác, nó đúng, nó chính xác. Okay. Để đó là cái trình độ đầu tiên thôi. Rồi xong phải tu để mà mở được cái định lực, thâm nhập được những cái huệ, những cái ý, những cái định nghĩa, cái lý nghĩa, giáo lý đó, thì nó gọi là quán huệ. Okay. All right. Here, this Vajra Sutra is the Buddha calls Vajra Sutra a no strife Arhat, an Arhat that is no strife, meaning he doesn't fight. He has no more desire. He has no more greed. He has no more anger. You can yell at him. You can insult him. Okay? He does not get angry. He has no more desire. You can tempt him. You can give him a lot of money. You can give him a lot of palaces. And you can give him a lot of nice cars. He's not tempted. You can't bribe him. Okay? So he has no more desire. His all longings have ceased, and he is foremost free from desire. That's what is defined as purity in Buddhism. Purity is not about a lack of dust or a lack of dirt. Okay? Thì vô tranh A-la-hán là một cái vị mà không còn cái giận hờn, không còn cái tham lam nữa. Thì cái đó là cái cảnh giới gọi là thanh tịnh. Thanh tịnhในPhật giáo không phải là sạch sẽ, không phải chùi cho nó sạch, phủi bụi cho nó sạch. Thanh tịnh này là cái thanh tịnh của cái sự vắng mặt của cái lòng tham, cái sự tham muốn. Purity is defined as absence of desire. So at the fourth stage, Arhat, okay, he is free from desire. That's why he truly understands emptiness. If you really understand emptiness, the time when you understand emptiness, then at that point in time, you have no more desires. Is it clear? Because as long as you still like something, then your mind is still impure. It's not empty yet. Hai cái người mà thanh tịnh là cái người không còn lòng tham nữa. Tại vì nếu trong tâm quý vị còn bất cứ cái tham vọng nào, cái tham dục nào, thì cái tâm quý vị nó chưa thật sự là không. The mind, that is empty, will not attach to anything. Cái tâm nó không còn chấp trước cái gì. Is it clear? And Subhuti here says, I don't have the thought. They have obtained a no strife samadhi, or even have certified arhatship, or number one among men, or foremost, the arhat, free from desire. Subhuti himself, he says, I have no such thought. That's why the Buddha certified me to be a no strife arhat, because I don't have a thought that I'm an arhat, or I have attained no strife samadhi. Because those would be thoughts. He's free from thoughts. Yeah, that's why he's a no strife arhat. Ngài Tu Bồ Đề nói, Đức Phật nói là con đã chứng nhận là con là không còn cái tư tưởng, nói là con đã đắc được cái vô tranh định, hoặc là chứng được quả Arhat, hoặc là đệ nhất trong loài người. Thì như vậy là vẫn còn cái tư tưởng là cái tâm vẫn còn chưa trống. Yes.
Well, don't you think it's rather hard to ascertain true freedom from thought? Because right there, the fact that he had the thought to say that he didn't have the thought is already a thought. He's there's thought, and use some words that he had to think.
Nice try, Pat. You're putting words in my mouth.
I didn't put words in.
Yes, you did. Did I say he has a thought? That I have no thought? You put that words in my mouth. What do you say in the slide? It says, Subhuti thinks that I do not have that thought.
He says, I do not have, this is the quote, I do not have that thought.
Yeah?
And obtain no stripes. Well, does that mean that you said that?
Yeah, but did I put down here Subhuti thinks?
Well, he said it.
Said it.
How do you organize the words to say it? He didn't think it before he said it?
Text. He said it in order to explain to you and to me.
Okay.
That thought there is associated with his explanation. But by itself, he would not have any thought.
Okay.
Does it make sense? This is what's called compassion and kindness. If he sits by himself, okay, let's say he sits in a room, or sits out there in the tree, he wouldn't have no such thoughts.
Right.
It's only when he's with the Buddha, that's when bad things happen to him. I start thinking about how do I talk to the Buddha? For the sake of us.
Yeah, okay.
Help us understand.
Makes sense.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Because he says, if I have such a thought, then it cannot be called pure. Meaning, at least I have the desire to inform you that I have no such thought. Right? And therefore, he cannot be the one that will not content. Ông này có người lý luận thầy nói tại sao cái tư tưởng tôi không có cái tư tưởng đó, sao nói là vẫn còn cái tư tưởng đó, là cái tư tưởng là tôi không có tư tưởng. Thì thầy nói không có đó. Nếu mà cái người A-la-hán ở một mình đó, thì ông hoàn toàn không có tư tưởng gì hết. Lý do có tư tưởng này tại ông cần giảng pháp cho mình nghe. Còn bất cứ cái tư tưởng nào thì gọi là thiếu thanh tịnh, không thể nói là mình không có tham dự. Okay. Any other questions? 284. Tấm 284. This is a very important point. When you cultivate the way, you should not involve in competition. You should not fight to be number one. Okay. That's very important. Cái phần quan trọng thì xin nhắc lại quý vị, nếu quý vị thực sự đi tu hành thì không thể nào tránh cái sự tranh luận.
Because when you cultivate the way, let me tell you, people will come and challenge you and get you into a fight. That's just like you biết không? Và khi cái vị tu đó, you stay in your own temple, you don't go outside anymore. You just go, I want to cultivate, I want to explain Dharma here only. And then it's not enough. People will walk through the front door in Buddha Hall when you're lecturing and they say, I want to take this from you, I want to take that from you because it belongs to me, it belongs so and so and so. They will pick a fight with you. Why? Because they're testing to see whether you are cultivating or not. Okay? So, to say that you should not involve competition actually means that if you cultivate, people will come and pick a fight with you. They will not leave you alone. And that's true cultivation, by the way. Because it's easy, Kingi, it's so easy to say that I don't fight, right? I know I should not fight. It's a should here, right? There's a should. See, it's very subtle, teaching very subtle. Okay? You should not, meaning that you be challenged to engage in a fight. That's why. That's the nature of cultivation. You understand now? They will come and pick a fight with you. No two ways about it. And that's when you appreciate it. You say, wow, should I? Should I? Shouldn't I? That is cultivation. It's so easy for you to cultivate folks like out in a mountain when no one comes and bothers you. Okay? True cultivation occurs when you challenge. Cái phần quan trọng thì nhấn mạnh cái việc nghe là thầy nói trong cái tấm 284 đi là trong số tăng 284 là cái người tu hành là không nên đấu tranh, không nên giành, là số 1 cái không nên này là chuyện quan trọng. Okay. Cái người tu hành là không nên đấu tranh, có nghĩa là sao? Ý nghĩa rằng là khi quý vị tu sẽ có người tới kiếm chuyện quý vị. Mình ngồi mình tính giảng kinh đó, thì nó tới nó vào nó phá, nó đòi lấy đồ để đạp, nó chửi lên nó chửi xuống, nó mắng nó nhiếc nó chửi, nó chở với tùm đấy. Để làm cái gì? Để nó kiếm chuyện, để nó bắt mình đấu. Thế đó mới thực sự là tu hành. Cái tu hành là mình khi mình bị như vậy mình tự hỏi mình nên đấu mình không, hay là mình nên đấu là không. Mà khi mình chọn mình không đấu thì mới gọi là tu hành. Chứ cái đó mới thực sự là tu. Còn tu đâu phải mình núp trong cái xó, núp ở trên rừng, trên núi rồi xong mình nói không có ai tới làm phiền mình hết, thành mình gọi là tu. Không phải đâu. Cái tu mà thực sự là ngay trong cái thị xá mà nó tới nó phá, nó tới nó chửi bới, nó tới nó đổ mình đủ thứ tội hết để nó đòi mình đấu. Đó mới thực sự là tu. Okay? That's real cultivation. Alright? And people who cultivate should be like water. Cái người tu hành giống như nước. Like quoting Lao Tzu, the founder of Taoism. He's an Arhat. Okay? And he says, superior goodness is like water. Thì Ngài Lão Tử nói rằng là cái thường thiền nó giống như nước. Because the water benefits a myriad of things and does not contend with them. Tại vì cái nước nó làm lợi cho đủ thứ ấy, mọi vật mà không bao giờ cạnh tranh. In particular, it flows to places which repel mankind. Nhất là nó tới những cái chỗ mà cái loài người không dám tới, người ghê tởm. Okay? It dares, for example, go to ugly places. Okay? To help the ugly. And thus it approximates the way. Thành cái đó nó gần với cái đạo. thân cần tệ. What is the way? The way, according to Taoist, as Lao Tzu taught it, the way is the way of nature. Okay? You don't go against nature. Like water, it flows, it never fights, never does anything against nature. Okay? Cái đạo gì? Đạo nên đạo giáo, đạo cái thiên nhiên, cái tự nhiên, không bao giờ cạnh tranh, nó vô tranh, nó vô chấp. Is it clear? That is a state, a very high state of wisdom. Okay. Everything is natural. Okay. The natural here is natural goodness. Unfortunately, the Taoists didn't spell it out for us. Lao Tzu didn't spell it out for us. The real nature is the nature of goodness. It's the ultimate nature. It's the nature of goodness. Any questions? Cái đạo thiên hành này bên này đạo giáo mấy khổng tử mấy là lão tử giảng chưa kỹ. Cái đạo này cái đạo của cái tự nhiên của thiên nhiên, cái đạo tự nhiên thì ra nó sâu hơn cái đạo của cái tuyệt tốt, của cái tốt. Đáng tiếc là lão tử chưa giảng tới nơi tới chỗ. 285. The one mark is no mark. World honored one. If I had the thought I have attained Arhatship, and the world honored one could not say, Subhuti is the foremost of those who delight in practicing Arhats. And since Subhuti actually has no practice, he's called Subhuti who delights in practicing Arhats. Yeah, I'm trying to make sense of this. It bothered me, so I read this. Yeah. And that's the nice thing about this. You just read it and don't try to understand. There's a humor behind it, and there's a lot of depth behind it as well. And this is the nature of learning about Buddhism. When you listen to the true principles, it does not have to make sense to you. It's more important to listen to it first. And that's the part I forgot to mention when I explained about literary wisdom. Literary wisdom is exposure, not understanding. Just be exposed, just read it. Read it, and read it, and read it. That's all you do. If you understand, fine. You don't understand, that's fine too. Why? Why?
Plants the seeds anyway.
Plant the seeds. What else? For future understanding, what else? What else? Quickly. Why is it important just to read the principles and not insist on understanding it? Why? Yes?
You don't use your discriminating mind.
That's right. You don't want a discriminating mind. Don't discriminate. Don't think. You get it, fine. You don't get it, it's okay too. Okay? Let me translate this. This is very important. Tại sao nghe cái chánh pháp, nghe cái giáo lý đàng hoàng, để được cái văn huệ đó thì không cần có hiểu. Lý do thứ nhất. What's the first reason? Okay. I forgot already. Plant the seeds, okay, of future understanding. Thank you. You give me a together adjustment. And number two, non-discriminating mind. Cái lý do thứ nhất là mình trồng cái chủng tử để trong tương lai mình hiểu. Thứ nhì, mình bớt cái tâm phân biệt, đừng có đòi. Cái phân biệt là cái này cái nọ, tâm suy nghĩ đó. Okay? So understand that the understanding has to be natural again. If you get it, fine. You don't get it, it's okay. You get it down the road. Okay? And number two, don't try to discriminate too much. Your mind is still thinking too much. Okay? Just read. Number three is don't settle. What is number 3? I forgot. I just forgot.
Could
Yes.
it be that it's creating affinities with the true God?
No, it's very subtle. This is, I had to point it out to you. This is why all of you are dead in waters right now. Okay? This is number 3. No one ever dare explain to you. Cái lý do thứ 3 là không ai nói gì cả quý vị đó. Em đã tùy giảng ở đây. Cái ít người đã nói nó phật lòng của vài người không sao hết. Cái lý do thứ 3 là tại vì không được đòi hiểu. Tại cái đòi hiểu là cái lòng tham. Có lòng tham nó không thể nào hiểu được. Nghe rõ không tin gì? Cái đó nó tế nhị dễ sợ. Vì cái lòng tham nó không thể nào hiểu được. Okay, where were we?
Number 3.
I'm playing with you. Number 3, very, very important. Anyone talk about number 1, number 2? It's clear. I'm choosing my words, making sure the text gets it. Number 3, it's very sad. You may not, should not insist on understanding. You should not insist on understanding. Because, why not? Because to insist on understanding is the greedy mind. He said, my time is important. I don't have time to waste. I need to understand this. I don't want to waste my time. That is greed and arrogance. You get it? Very simple. All of you, that's your problem. That's what you can't understand. Because if you have that kind of mind, say, I'm too busy, I'm too important, my time is valuable, I don't want to waste my life. I don't have much time left. Okay? It's the mind of greed and arrogance. That's why you cannot understand for the first place. Isn't that scary? You cannot understand because you're greedy, because you are arrogant. If you're like that, forget it. You'll never be able to develop contemplative wisdom. Never. Is it clear? No. Peter said, I'm out of here. I'm never going to do it.
I think I have to read one about 10 more times to understand.
Do you agree with that text? The subtlety here is very, very important. It takes a teacher like me to dare look at you in the face and you should not insist on understanding. I'm telling you that you should develop the attitude that if I understand, great. I don't understand, it's okay too. I will, and be happy with it. Don't insist on understanding. Don't insist on saying I'm important or I don't want to waste my time.
Sure.
That's very important. I have to let go of that demand. It's one of the most difficult things to do. To develop true understanding. That's why it's so difficult to develop true understanding. Because you need, because you're arrogant. Which manifests itself on the insisting on understanding right away. Of course you will understand, I assure you. You will understand. You have no choice. You will understand. Trust me. You have no choice but understanding. But it has to be lived along before that happens. Is it clear? So there's no need to insist right now. Cái này quan trọng tại vì phải nói là không cần phải đòi hiểu ngay lập tức. Tại sao? Tại vì trước sau gì quý vị sẽ hiểu. Không bao lâu nữa quý vị sẽ hiểu. Thành đòi là cái gì? So for you to insist on understanding right away is not necessary. It's no need. That's how you do it. Okay? So you will understand. Just be patient. Chỉ cần kiên nhẫn một tí nữa, đợi thêm một tí, từ từ sẽ hiểu, tự động nó sẽ hiểu, chắc chắn sẽ hiểu. Không cách nào không hiểu được. Thành đòi hiểu ngay làm cái gì? Nó không cần thiết. since Subhuti actually has no practice, it's called Subhuti relies in practicing Arhana. 世尊，我若做试念，我得二罗汉道。世尊得不说Subhuti是乐二兰那行者，以Subhuti实无所行。二名Subhuti是乐二兰那行。Thế Tôn, thế con các niệm ta các đạo A-la-hán thì Thế Tôn liền chẳng nói tu Bồ Đề ưa hành A-la-hán. Vì tu Bồ Đề thật không chỗ hành nên nói tu Bồ Đề là người ưa hành A-la-hán. I'm on slide 288. The concept for Arhana, con niệm A-la-hán. It's a Sanskrit that can be translated as still and quiet. Được viết ra là tĩnh. In that state, there's no phenomenon. Trong cái cảnh giới của cái Alana này, nó vô sự. Vô sự. Okay. What does it mean? No phenomenon. This is not a concept. It's very important one. You need to be aware of. Okay? What is a phenomenon? A phenomenon is an example or manifestation. Cái sự là gì? Cái sự là một cái ví dụ hoặc là một cái hiện gì khác. Okay? Because in Buddhism, there's two concepts, phenomenon and nomenon. Bên Phật giáo có cái sự, cái lý. Okay? Nomenon is the principle. The Buddhist principle, for example, the principle of emptiness. It's called principle, it's called nomenon. Okay? Phenomenon is a manifestation of that principle. Okay? If you will, if you understand, if you have a little bit of background in mathematics, or you're learning about mathematics, mathematics has something called a theorem. Right? You learn about something called theorem. For example, it says E equals mc squared. That's a theory. Okay? And so the theorem has application of theorem. Okay? So the principle is the theory, the nomenon. The phenomenon is the application of the theory, a manifestation of that theory in real life. Application of that. For example, okay, we talk about the theory, the nomenon of emptiness. Lý跟sự. Lý với sự. Lý là chỉ là cái giáo lý, sự là cái sự, một cái ví dụ của cái giáo lý. Ví dụ như cái lý là cái lý của cái không. Okay? Cái sự là một cái ví dụ của cái không. Cái người hiểu được cái không rồi thì tự nhiên cái người đó sẽ không còn tham nữa, là cái sự. Không còn tham lam nữa, là sự. Tại sao? Tại vì người hiểu được chân lý là không còn gì đâu mà tham. Lý跟事是这样子，理就是你说，比方说理就是共理，事就是说你没有妄欲，没有欲，是一个事，因为是如果你真的懂理，就不会有什么欲，那是事。You understand? The principle, the nomenon is that everything is empty. It's called the theory of emptiness. It says, you are empty, I'm empty, this camera is empty, this temple is empty. Okay? What does it mean? That if this is there's an earthquake and this temple disappears, or there's a fire that burns us down. No attachment. Or they take things from this temple. No attachment. Okay? Because everything's empty. Why should I get offended by this, by that? Right? That's a phenomenon. If you understand the principle of emptiness, then it is manifests itself in your action. Phenomenon is your action, is your behavior, is your conduct. Is it clear? If you understand the principles, then it manifests itself in your conduct, in your behavior. 理跟是这个关系是理是你懂的东西，就你的事就是你的行为，你的行为应该反映你所懂的，对不对？比方说，如果是你真的懂，那空的道理，有人来偷你的东西，你不会烦恼，因为是你知道是那个东西都是空，所以不必烦恼，对不对？这样是是你的行为。cái lý với sự là quan trọng, cái lý là mình hiểu cái đạo lý, ok? Cái lý mà nói là mình hiểu tất cả mọi sự đều là không, đó chỉ là cái giáo lý thôi. Nhưng một khi quý vị hiểu nó không rồi, sẽ có người tới vào cái Phật điện quý vị, ăn cắp cái đồ quý vị, kích thích quý vị, chọc giận quý vị, kiếm chuyện quý vị. Mà quý vị thực sự mà hiểu cái lý không á, là quý vị sẽ không phiền não. Thì cái hành động quý vị sẽ nó phản ảnh cái đó, quý vị sẽ không hoàn toàn không phiền não, không giận, không hờn, không có. Okay? Đó là cái sự. Is it clear? The phenomenon is observed by your behavior. Your behavior reflects your understanding of the principles. Okay? So what does it mean, no phenomenon? Anyone? You think you get away with sitting there and doing nothing? It doesn't work like that in my lecture. I test your comprehension right away. I just explained to you a very profound principle, very important concept in Buddhism. Phenomenon. Thầy mới giảng cái gì? Cái lý với sự. Thầy hỏi gì ngay lập tức. Thành khi trong cái bài, trong cái tấm này 288 nó là vô sự như nó sao? Thế là ngũ sư là什么意思? Cảm ơn. Yeah. Don't go to sleep.
You perceive phenomena through your false self, right? You perceiving your phenomena, what you see is perceived by your five senses, six senses, which are not true yourself. And what you perceive is fake.
Yes. What does it mean, no phenomenon?
Therefore, there exists no phenomenon.
Close. Okay. I will give you for that. Anyone else? Yes.
I'm going to try. Does that mean no changes would affect you, like you're completely detached from attachment?
Very close. Very, very close. Excellent. What's your name? Where do you learn Buddhism from? Very good. Anyone else? Anyone else? If inside your mind is still and quiet, then there is no phenomenon. If you understand emptiness, it's still and quiet inside. It's very, very quiet, very peaceful. Then there's no phenomenon.
When you're in castle, you pray, the castle that protects outside.
Very good, very good.
Strong
This
castle.
guy is so attached to his castle. His worldly possessions. cái tịch tỉnh là cái trong cái đầu của vị hồng nó được thanh tịnh, nó được an lạc. Chỉ chính那个境界，境界不是境界，那个境界是里面在里面脑里没有什么事情，所以这境界是不是？Right? Cái tâm quý vị mà nó tịch tỉnh, là cái tâm nó an lạc, nó hoàn toàn im lặng, thì như vậy quý vị sẽ thành vô sự. Tại sao? If your mind is still quiet, then there's no phenomenon. That's my hint to you. Get it right? If your mind is still quiet, meaning that no attachments. No attachment. 你的心是极静，就你不会有什么执着，对不对？ And therefore, you will not react when people come and test you. Is it clear? No phenomenon, no behavior. You cannot observe behavior. Isn't that beautiful? Huh? Because you have no attachment whatsoever. You don't want to take it? Take it. And by the way, you're stealing from me. Is it clear? You don't react. You don't get afflicted. Okay?
So you have to kill your prestige.
You want to kill my prestige?
You have to kill your pride and everything.
Yeah, very perceptive. Khi mà nó tịch tỉnh rồi là vô sự, có nghĩa là sao? Mình không có phản ứng nữa hết. Nó tới, nó chửi mình, nó mắng mình, nó cắp đồ mình. Mình nói ok, cắp thì cắp đi, lấy thì lấy đi. Mình nói với vị biết, vì nó cắp đó, vì rắn nó chịu, anh tạo nghiệp rắn nó chịu. Khi nào làm mình đi dặn kinh tiếp, thì giờ đâu, tụi nó tạo nghiệp nó rắn. Okay. Is it clear? The no phenomenon means you don't react, you don't affect. They do anything, you will not. You will not react to it. What's another explanation for that? It's called samadhi. Thus unmoving. They cannot move it. That's why it's no phenomenon. Is it clear? No matter what they do, they yell at you, they insult you, they say, you are unworthy monk, you are a coward, you are unethical, you are a thief, you are all those things. For half an hour, you listen to them. Oh yeah. Tiếng tụng á, anh xem gì cái vô sự như vậy, vô sự. Nó tới trong cái vị ví dụ nó tới vô sự, nó tới và trong Phật điện quý vị, ngay chỗ quý vị thờ phượng đó, Phật Bồ Tát nó chửi, nó như vậy là cái đồ nó chửi tung quý vị, nó nói là cái gì đồ cũng cắp, nói cái gì là cái đồ không xứng đáng, nói cái gì đồ hèn hạ, cái này nọ hết, ok, nó nói nửa tiếng một, mình nói ôi vậy hết, mình hoàn toàn kệ, nó tạo việc nó ra, and this is fundamental to the arts. He will not react to you. You cannot provoke him. That's why I said earlier, that's how the Arhat behaves. You will not compete with him. You cannot get him to compete to fight with him. No matter how hard you try. Okay? You only tire yourself. You're getting worked up. The Arhat will not react to it, will not engage with you. Okay? Yes.
So Arhats don't have a sense of humor either.
They don't have a sense of humor? Not all Arhats. Some Arhats like have no sense of humor at all, I agree. I show you some pictures. You look at the face, oh my God. Okay? But some Arhats very humorous.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah? It's okay to be humor. I prefer the Arhats to have humor, by the way. I don't like the Arhats to have no humor. Người nói, thầy có hỏi là về A-la-hán có cái khôi hài không? Thầy nói là tùy người, có nhiều người A-la-hán hoàn toàn nghiêm, dễ sợ, không khôi hài hết. Có nhiều người A-la-hán rất là khôi hài. Thì cá nhân thầy thì thích người A-la-hán có khôi hài. All right, any other questions? In this state, there's no mark outside, there's no mind inside. Cái cảnh giới này, ở ngoài là không có cái tướng gì cả, ở trong cũng có cái tâm. 这个境界是相近于外，欣喜于内。What does it mean? Outside, no mark. 外面没有相，ở ngoài không có tướng. Nghĩa là sao? Everything is empty. Outside. Is it clear? So what? So what that the car is white, or the car is dented, or the house on fire. All those are marks. You don't attach to it. Okay? So outside we are attached to no marks. Ở ngoài mình không chấp một cái tướng như vậy, có nghĩa là xe nó cháy, nhà nó sụp, mình không quay, cũng không có gì hết. Okay. Inside there's no mind. 里内没有心 meaning what? Even your mind doesn't even move. Cái tâm mình không phải động. 你的心不动，不会动。Clear? What does it mean that no mind inside? No thoughts. You cannot get this guy to move, to generate a thought. Cái người này mình không thể nào khiến người ta động cái tâm, có nghĩa là khởi một cái tư tưởng, chỉ一个思想，但不会起什么思想。没有什么思想，没有妄念，没有一个妄念，连一个妄念也没有。Okay? It's always quiet. Lúc nào cũng yên. This is why, let me tell you, you cannot observe this. Let me tell you. This is fascinating to me because I keep on telling people that, but this is when the people will pay attention. You go to India, to those ashrams, and you see these guys with hair on top, okay, and they sit there, and that's a state very close to always quiet. The mind is so quiet. They're so detached. The mind is not quite quiet yet, but it's very close. It's about 50%. Okay. That's incredible state because our mind is so noisy, so many thoughts, crisscrossing constantly. These guys, they virtually have no thoughts. They have very, very subtle thoughts. They can't even see it, but that's very remarkable. Khi đi bác lên của viên Ấn Độ giáo, những cái ngài quấn tóc ngồi trong cái đền thờ Ấn Độ giáo, người ta ngồi nó cái tâm vọng tưởng rất là ý, rất là tuyệt vời. Nhưng còn xa lắm, chứ không phải là như cảnh giới A-la-hán này đâu. And that's another name for the no strife samadhi, cái tên khác cho cái vô tranh. Any questions about this? Okay, 289. 289. When you practice the arhana, then you cannot say that you practice arhana. That is, you practice pure conduct, including the thought of attaining the fourth stage of arhatship. That would be contention, would be impure. Impure means that thought is impure. Contention, you have comparison. It's very subtle form of contention, right? I have obtained something. That's a form of contention. You notice that? It's very subtle. You begin first by comparing. Okay? Cái Arhana, hành là một cái hành mà nếu mà nói là ngài tu Bồ đề đang tu cái hành Arhana, thì cái đó không thể nói rằng là ngài đang tu cái tinh hành. Tại ngay cái tư tưởng mình đắc được cái quả đó là một cái sự cạnh tranh và cái bất tình là còn cái tư tưởng, còn một cái tư tưởng là tôi được cái quả. Cái cạnh tranh là tại sao? Cạnh tranh là có cái sự so sánh, quả vị với không quả vị, nó bắt đầu với cái so sánh. Ngủ quê chẳng ngủ gì tiếng tụng mà xin nhiều hơn sự bề. And therefore, if you still have the thought that I'm practicing the arhana, then we will not be free from desire. And that's simply a false thought. And all arhats, when we get to stage of arhat, is called practicing and yet without practicing. Remember, yesterday we talked about intention and yet no intention. Same exact principle. Tới trình độ A-la-hán thì mình không còn một cái sự tranh giành nào cả. Thành lúc mình tu thì ra mình tu mà giống mình không tu. Giống ngày hôm qua mình giảng pháp nói là mình tranh thì ra mình không tranh. Okay. Đó, cái cảnh giới nó tương tự như vậy. Người ta không còn chấp vào cái gì nữa, không còn chấp vào cái ngã, không còn chấp vào pháp. Và trong tâm không có cái gì mà phải ám chấp trước. Thì 那个境界是没有什么思想，没有妄念，也没有一个念在说我在修行，或是我不在修行。是那境界是你修行，可是好像是没有修行。我不修行，你不修行，可是你在修行，是没有那个不修行或者修行的相，修行或不修行的执着。It's important to distinguish this because actually they cultivate and yet they don't cultivate. They don't cultivate yet they cultivate. Why is that? Because they don't attach to either cultivation or non-cultivation. You see, for us lazy people, we say we don't want to cultivate. We'd rather enjoy ourselves. It's an attachment to non-cultivation. Am I correct? Yep. Whereas for you, great disciples and students of the Buddha Dharma, you say, we cultivate. Then you fall to the side of attaching to cultivation. The Arhat is neither. He's in the middle. He's attached to neither side. Is it clear? He's attached to nothing. He's attached to no self. He's attached to no Dharma. Self is the person who cultivates. Dharma is that I'm cultivating something. Dharma is anything. Okay? Dharma refers to anything. That's the technical jargon, Buddhist jargon. Dharma is just anything. You cannot come up with a name, you say Dharma. So you don't attach to yourself cultivating, you attach to anything you cultivate. Okay? There's nothing whatsoever. And that's what the mind is nothing that he's obtaining. Thành bởi vậy cái tâm nó không chấp vào cái gì hết, không chấp vào ngã, không chấp vào pháp. Thì bởi trong cái tâm không thấy có gì mà có thể khả đắc, bất khả đắc. 所以你没有什么执着，你如果不执着自我，你不执着法，所以在心里没有什么可以得的。Any questions? 話定嗌喎，最難啲。Therefore, when they practice the Arhana thing here, is only a name to describe to help you understand. They don't see themselves practicing Arhana. Tại cái người mà tu hành Arhana này mà hiểu rồi mà thông đạt rồi, thì trong tâm họ không thấy họ tu Arhana nữa. Để họ phải nói, họ giảng cái gì nghe thôi. Chứ trong tâm họ không thấy tu gì. Okay? Vì cái Arhana chỉ là một cái hư danh để giúp chúng ta hiểu cái pháp thôi. Okay? 修行二兰那的行知道是二兰那就是一个妄念。So what happens is Subhuti, who practiced Arhana, the Arhana conduct, okay, he basically cultivates purity. Cái người mà tu hành Arhana là cái người tu cái thanh tịnh hạnh. 二兰那行者是在修那个静静的行为。However, there is no fixed actual substance. There is no thing, no dharma which he has obtained. Not even anything called Arhana in his mind. Thành cái người này khi mà nói họ trong tâm họ không thấy gì là Arhana, không gì mà xứng đáng là Arhana. Thế tức là那时候不会在心里会有什么妄想，一定是不会想是我二兰那的行法，二兰那的法。So, in essence, when you reach a fourth stage Arhatship, okay, when you reach a fourth stage Arhatship, at that point in time, okay, it cannot occur unless, and let me show a distinction for your sake. Okay. When you cultivate, you say, I want to reach fourth stage Arhatship, right? Cái gì tu là phải nói tôi muốn đạt được kết quả là hạnh. Am I correct? We all agree on that.
Yes.
Yeah, we all want the fourth stage. It sounds good, right? It sounds good. Whatever it is, it sounds good. I want it. It's great, actually, and it's free. So it's not bad. I love freebies. Okay, it doesn't cost anything, so it's worthwhile. We all want to get there. Okay. But the closer you are to it, that very moment, just before you get it, you say, I don't want it anymore. That's when you get it. Because as long as you sit at the top, you cannot get there. And this is the problem with the world of people.
Are you saying, do you have the thought, I don't want it anymore, or you just cease to have thoughts
You
anymore?
cease to have that thought.
Yeah.
That's correct. Very good. At that point, you naturally cease, by the way, you naturally cease. Excellent. Very good. So you need a goal in life, like everything else in life, you need a goal. You need to set the proper goal, the worthwhile goal. Okay? And then, when you get close to it, naturally, you stop wanting it. That's when you get there. Isn't that fascinating? For us worldly people, when you get a goal, become a millionaire, when you get there, say, ha ha, when will I know it? When will I know it? That's the difference. That's the difference. Okay?
How many times do we have to review for to actually arrive at the
I'm not answering that. Never mind. Cái nói cái gì nghe cái vui. Tu ai cũng mình biết ai cũng muốn nên đặt tới tứ quả là hai tại cái quả gì nó tuyệt vời đều thành là được đặt mục tiêu muốn tới đó để càng ngày càng tới gần muốn khi mà thiệt sự sắp tới cái nội rồi tới quả là rồi thì phải xả cái tâm để muốn tới cái quả là mới được. Cái thế gian pháp thì cái gì chẳng muốn làm triệu phú thì phải cần có thêm 1 đồng mới được 1 triệu, một chút thêm đồng mới được. Còn cái quả là mình phải xả hết tất cả mình mới tới. Cái tụng mà你应该有一个目的，很值得，就你很值得要得到四果二罗汉，要修行对，相得四果二罗汉。那个时候你刚刚要达到四果二罗汉，你应该把这个念要得四果二罗汉除掉，才可以得。Okay? So that's what he said. Even though this guy at that point, he's certified to the 4th stage Arhat, in his mind, he says, it's nothing. That's when he truly gets it. That's why his wife turned to him and said, did you get it? Did you get it? He says, no. Goodbye, Annie. See you next lifetime. Okay?
So he doesn't realize that he obtained the Arhat.
No, he does. He does know. He does know.
He does know.
He does know. He's aware. Why? Because he's no longer attached to that. You see, just before he is so attached, remember? It takes a lot of intensity to get there. That's so close. Because it takes a lot of want, a lot of desire. I want it so much, I want so much, I'm willing to give up this, okay? Because I want to see what it's like. And so when he gets it, he says, wow, it's wonderful, it's wonderful. Okay? He realizes it's wonderful. When the 4th stage Arhatship, you experience this kind of bliss that you never experienced before. That's what it is. The bliss from the freedom of any desire is incredible. That's why he knows. It's no longer mental, it's no longer intellectual. He knows in his guts, because his guts tells him, it feels so good. Never like this before. I'm so free. It's so wonderful. It feels so wonderful. I never been this free before. Cái này đặc biệt trong chuyên biệt người tứ quả La Hán tới đó câu hỏi là người lúc mà đắc cái tứ quả La Hán có biết mà đắc được hay không biết, tại vì thầy cứ nói hay là tới đó họ không thấy gì hết đó, làm sao biết đắc được tứ quả La Hán? It's a good question by the way. You are dangerous. Thầy mới giảng cho họ biết là cái câu hỏi này họ hóc búa nhưng mà cái con này nó khỉ, chưa muốn hỏi cái câu hóc búa. I explained your question very tough, in very unflattering terms. Just want to make sure you don't miss anything in the translation. Cái câu hỏi hóc búa tại mà tới đó thầy nói không đắc gì hết, có biết được tứ quả La Hán không? Biết hay là không? 你知道我是在常常说你得师父阿含的时候不会想没有得是吗？所以他的问题是，那他知道他知不知道是得的师父阿含？那个，其实那个问题很难啊，他不好人。听得懂吗？nghĩ gì cái điền điền đó. Cái ông này ông hóc búa lắm. Thành ra khi mà tới tứ quả La Hán họ biết. Tại sao họ biết? Tại vì như vậy khi mà quý vị đắc cứ họ La Hán một cái á, thì cái lạc đó, nó tuyệt vời, nó sướng không thể tưởng được. Tại sao có cái lạc đó? Cái lạc đó là cái lạc nó sinh trưởng từ cái sự vắng mặt của tất cả cả cái vọng niệm, tất cả cái tham dục, nó sướng không thể tưởng được. Tôi cũng không biết. Nó chưa bao giờ tôi sướng như vậy. Bạn biết mà. Tại vì không tham mới sướng được. Nghe rõ không? Okay. Remember, one hard question. Okay. So the mind says, I actually obtained nothing. There's nothing in the mind. But the gut feeling is that the bliss is there. The bliss from the lack of thoughts. Okay? Therefore, when you look, you cannot see it. 所以视之不见，没有什么可见的。Vì vậy, thị chi bất kỳ, có nghĩa quý vị nhìn, đố mắt mà nhìn không thấy được cái gì hết. You see a guy who reached a fourth stage Arhat. Can you see anything? You see any special thing about says, whoopee, I got fourth stage Arhat? No, we never do it. We never act any differently than before. Not different than before. And so you can't see anything. Cái người nào mà tới kết quả là hán rồi, người ta nhảy lên nhảy xuống đâu nói là tôi đắc kết quả đâu. Này, chỉ như thường ấy, giống như không có chuyện gì xảy ra. Thành mình nhìn, trố mắt mà nhìn, tôi biết là đắc được không đắc được. Okay. Those who listen cannot hear. Trố tai mà nghe được. There's nothing at all that's manifest. That is, remember earlier, the no phenomenon. Vô hữu không có gì, không được cái gì hết. Tức là cái vô sự mà mình nói cái hai ba tấm trước. No phenomenon whatsoever. Okay. That is what the Chinese, this is the typical of the Arhat, a very important concept. Ngũ zuo. Okay. Vô sự. Người A-la-hán vô sự, không có làm gì. Ngũ zuo, vô tác. Ngũ zuo translated to English as non-action or no phenomenon. Is it clear? The Chinese always use the word ngũ zuo that indicates the Arhat state. Non-action. You will not have. No matter what you do, you will not be out. That's why you're so free. No matter what, you're still at ease. You can't make you do that. We can't get you to that. You're free. Doesn't mean you don't care. You care. When you're free, you will not react. Is it clear? You're not dead. You simply will embrace the Mahayana perspective. Understand the non-action doesn't mean you're dead. Non-action means you accept everything. You don't reject anything. Neither the good nor the bad. You accept it. It's good, wonderful. It's bad, it's okay. That's called freedom. Don't you agree? You are not free because you insist on either good or bad. Right? The masochists want pain for others, for themselves. Okay? They insist on the negative. So you're free from either extreme, from action. Thành cái thị chi bất kiến, tinh chi bất văn, vô hữu, có nghĩa là hồi nãy mình giảng vô sự, tức là cái A-la-hán hoặc là vô tác, ngũ zuo. Thì有不会有什么反应，无助。Clear? Isn't that wonderful? Think about it. We always initiate things. I want this, I want that. It's from desires. The Arhat says, it's okay. Whatever happens, I accept. And that's the state of utmost happiness, my Lord. cái cảnh nhớ là cảnh nhớ của cái hạnh phúc tuyệt vời, sự khoái lạc, chân khoái lạc. Đồng ý không? You agree or disagree? Because as long as you insist on either the negative or positive, you are unhappy when it doesn't happen. Agree?
Yeah.
Tại vì khi mà cái gì đòi có hay không thì cái gì sẽ bất hạnh khi mà nó không được có. 如果你是想要什么不得的话，你会不乐，不喜欢，那就是不好。所以真的快乐就是没有什么问题，什么都那很微妙的境界。This is a wonderful state. This is the state of constant happiness. No matter what you have, you see, you have it, you're still happy. You don't have it, you're still happy. You enjoy what you have, you still enjoy what you don't have.
At the fourth level, you still have to eliminate the S desire.
Yes.
It's very hard.
It's very hard. It's not easy. But it's hard because at very far from it, you think it's hard. As you get closer and closer, it's a lot easier. Trust me. It's hard at the lower end. The lower end is hard. But as you get closer to 40, it's much easier. Okay? Because as you get, the reason, I'm not saying that as a commercial, as to mislead you. I'm saying that because it's true. The higher you get up there, the easier it is for you to let go. Right now it's hard because it's very tough for us to let go. We're so attached. But the fact you have the literal wisdom to know that you should let go will help you eventually. This is important, folks, because, by the way, very few teachers dare tell you that getting rid of sexual desire is desirable, is a good thing. They won't dare talk to you about that. Because I have to tell you that because I tell you in the proper literary wisdom. If I dance around it and my Buddha Dharma, the Buddha Dharma teaching is not the truth. I have to tell you the truth. Otherwise you'll be wasting your time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, well, they normally do dance around it. All these pop teachers, all the Tibetans, all the teachers, they all
And what bothers me about the way Buddhism is taught out there is that they say happiness is based on getting what you want.
yeah.
That's not true happiness, the Buddhist happiness. Buddhist happiness is letting go.
This is happiness to let go.
To let go.
Let go.
To learn to let go. That's what you get true happiness. It's very easy, it's not easy, but it's the truth. It's not. And that's what people don't dare tell you about. They say, because what? If I tell you to let go, then how can I tell you to give me money or buy my book? Or give money to donate money to my temple, right? It doesn't help me. So I try to dance around it. Hopefully you like me enough to give me money. In subtle ways. So that's why the literary wisdom is so important. You understand that? It's important. I'd rather offend you right now and say, okay, sexual desire is not as great as you think. And I have proof for you, because the higher you reach, the more you see through sexual desire. You see sexual desire is not great. There's something else much more fascinating, much more rewarding than sexual gratification. I tell you flat out. So much more. And the ultimate at your level is at the fourth stage now. The ultimate is so powerful. I mean, at that stage, you look at sexual desire. And you call it great? Come on. motivation. I assure you. It is so fascinating because the progress helps make it easier and easier and easier. As long as you believe and have the proper literary wisdom. You agree that the path has to go through no sexualism. If I tell you there's an easier path, then go like this, it will take you a long, long time. Okay? You eventually get there, but that's not literary wisdom. Is it clear? Cái phần này phần con thì bây giờ sẽ bảo rằng phần đa số những thầy giảng tánh là nói cái chuyện cái trình độ mà họ chuyện khó mà giảng cho người ta về cái vấn đề chân chính là phải nói phải tin rằng là một cái tình lý do như sự vận hội chân的文会是你应该相信是预定什么这一步。All the teachers don't get taught. 别的师父误谈这么说，像你这么说。Thì những cái thầy khác không dám giảng cái điều như vậy. Tại sao? Tại vì khó mà giảng. Nhất là nói chuyện có hài tí. Nếu mà nói cái gì mà không tham thì làm sao mà nói khuyên cái vị là cúng tiền cái thầy mà thầy mua xây nhà lầu, xây chùa bây giờ. Okay? Thành ra cái chuyện mà cái văn về chân chính là quý vị phải hiểu rằng là cái tình dục là cái vô minh. 你应该文慧，就是说你的欲念只是无明，对你不好。The proper literal wisdom is to say sexual desire is simply ignorance. It causes problems. Okay? Thành ra mình thấy cái vô minh như vậy. Thành ra nếu bị tiến được như vậy thì có thể tới được tứ quả là nó lại hơn nhiều. Có thể mọi cái điều chân chính là nó làm nhiều. Tại sao vậy? Lúc đầu cái trình độ đầu thì hơi khó một tí, tại vì cái chân quả nó còn nhiều, càng ngày càng lên cao thì chân quả nó càng ít, thì lúc đó cái tình dục nó dễ dàng được con. Tới cái trình độ của tứ quả là hán rồi, cái tình dục nó mới đối với cái người tứ quả là hán nó ra vậy. Cái lạc của cái tứ quả là hán quá sướng với cái tình dục, thành ra tình dục cái chuyện gì cũng quá gì. Okay, and that's the end of today's lecture. Okay. Thank you all for coming. Next, we will do the transference for rebirth to help all the people obtain rebirth to the pure. Okay, it's the last act of kindness we're going to do today. Okay.
Okay.
Let me mark where I'm at so that we can continue from the proper place next time around.